10,000 fearless on the move.
Let's go. Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi. Mississippi. 10,000 fearless.
Woo! Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you and welcome to yet again another edition of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your brother, your friend and host, Abdul Shahid Muhammad. We begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. We bear witness to the oneness of God, to the oneness of his prophets, and to the oneness of the scriptures that were revealed through them to the whole of humanity. Please allow us to greet you once again, thankful for another opportunity and another chance to be before you with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Semitic language of all of the prophets of Assalamu alaikum. Those words mean may peace be unto you. Again, brothers and sisters, welcome, welcome, welcome in. We have a pretty good program planned for you tonight. Tonight we will have as our guest our sister Andrinetta Howard. She is the president of the recently established Marshall County Chamber of Commerce. I'm looking forward to this conversation with the sister. We'll learn a little bit more about the chamber and inform the public, North Mississippi and Marshall County in particular, of what's going on, how it's going to benefit, and she's going to fill us in on everything about the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce, how we can help, and how we can benefit from it. But of course, first we want to get started with our axioms. You know, we do these axioms, brothers and sisters, to use them to undergird our conversation, to keep us to some degree, focused on what we really need to be focused on, and to, always remember, we're not here to debate. We're not here to be controversial or any of those kinds of things. And we're just here to, I would say, educate while being entertaining to some degree. Not that we want to be entertainers, but learning should be fun. And when we get on these types of platforms, we should be responsible enough to disseminate helpful information to those who are our listeners, okay? And now we got a big storm heading in, so I'm sure everybody is bracing themselves, getting ready, getting all the necessities in your homes and making sure, your water lines and all of that is intact, and making sure you got plenty of water. Fill up your tank now with gas, okay? All right now, y'all, it's coming. They say it's coming, so it's better to be prepared, and it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Okay, let's get it started here with our axioms. What's an axiom? Of course, I like to give you the definition so we can stay aware of what that actually is. An axiom is a statement or proposition which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self-evidently true, to serve as a premise or starting point for further reasoning and arguments. That's what an axiom is, okay? Okay, we're going to open with our first axiom, and I'll give you a little commentary on it. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is one of the axioms. I call it an axiom. So, it's established, it's accepted, and it's self-evidently true that, quote, he who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes for you the circumference of your activity. Yep, that is pretty self-evidently true, and it is established, okay? Second axiom from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan I like to give is, quote, when you see men fall, don't laugh, learn. Learn because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you're laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn, to make a mockery and not to understand, is to make the same mistake yourself. And I want to close with the last one I like to give you. And this is from our great brother, the great Carter G. No, I'm going to go with Dr. King, because we just had his birth anniversary, and we had a nice celebration there in Holly Springs, Mississippi, with Care Now and all of the brothers and sisters. Dr. Stovall gave a very thought-provoking presentation in his comments and in his keynote address. Shout out to Dr. Stovall. Well done. Dr. King, in the wake of the crisis in American cities, he quoted a man named Victor Hugo when he said, quote, if the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness, end quote. All right, now, y'all, we're getting started. We're going to be right back. We got our brother William, who's going to be coming with the Farm Report. And, of course, our sister Lynchelle King. She's going to be coming with the health segment on tonight's episode of the 10K Phillies Tri-State Podcast. But until then, we're going to get to our commercial announcements. And as we always do, we want to make sure you support those who support us. You all stand by. We'll be right back.
12, chilling in the studio, taking over the world. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you no harm. I say assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you know, I don't mean you know. See, I come in peace, ain't nobody I am hurting except my enemies, but for my brothers I am working. Cause the powers that be wanna see, that's why they're lurking. We're both making our peace, but different food we are serving. See,
Shake's famous seasonings, flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's famous seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real, authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, indeed. We are back live here at the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I am your brother, your friend, and your host, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. Let me go to the dashboard and make sure my guest is not trying to get in. Yeah, she's scheduled to be with us at about 7:35. Until then, I am standing, well, before I say that, because I got a couple of minutes before Brother William comes on to give the farm report, and Sister Lynn Shell will come on and give us the health segment for tonight's program. But before we go there, we want to make sure you support those persons and those announcements that you just heard. First of all, first and foremost, I should say, want to make sure you support that Final Call newspaper. If you want it delivered locally there in Marshall County, give us a call at 662-252-8999. Y'all excuse me. Again, give us a call at 662-252-8999, or you can email your requests, send it to DreMuhammad1@gmail.com. You can drop us a line at our box office at the 10K Fearless Post Office Box 517, Holly Springs, Mississippi 38635. Also, make sure you come by and support our Supreme Bean Pie program, okay? We want a donation. If you donate, it helps to continue the ministry there in North Mississippi, right there in Holly Springs, located at 165 North Ida B. Wells, formerly known as Memphis Street. Also, we'd like to remind you, support Supreme Spring Water and Shakes Seasonings, and most importantly, or second importance, after the final call, we want you to support the Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. They're actually located at 6075 Winchester Avenue, inside of the Hickory Ridge Mall. You can also get them at 8045 Giacosa Plaza, out in the Wolf Chase Galleria area, inside of the Painted Tree. Okay, or you can just go online at theurbanindulgence.com. They ship anywhere in the Americas. Okay. There you have it. So we want to go ahead and let me see what's going on with my brother William. I'm sure he's about ready to come before us. And let's get him on. Assalamu alaikum, Brother William.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir. Man, I'm glad to hear from you tonight. And we're going to get this brother in. Make sure he give us the farm report, man, because it's a big freeze coming, Brother William. So what we got going on in the ground?
Yes, sir. Well, on our national front, like I said, we're still waiting on the broccoli. Hopefully, by the end of this month, which is another week or so, the broccoli may be ready to be harvested. Dr. Rizzi will let us know when, and then I can pass that message on to anybody who may be interested in getting some. So that's on the national side. On the state side, we get ready for the spring planting season. The brother has already broken up the ground. And so hopefully about the 1st of March, we'll be able to start rolling up and preparing to put some seeds in the ground. And that's also the intentions for our project that we're going to, start fresh from. We'll be able to get some things planted. And maybe, in 3 or 4 months after that, we'll be seeing something that we can harvest. And lastly, there's a report that I got last night, and I'm hoping that this thing goes as planned. In the next week, maybe week and a half, we should be expecting to have our beans delivered, those of us who ordered, the 50-pound bags of navy beans.
Yes, sir. Man, great. Excellent. Well, man, look, we're looking forward to it. The way we see the weather patterns changing, it's always good, brother, to have something, kind of put aside in the house. Because, these weather events are getting a bit, more and more severe. They're getting more and more intense and more frequent. So it would behoove us, to make provisions for, what I see as the inevitable. As I said earlier, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So what else do you have before we part ways, my brother?
There's something else. There's a chemical that's commonly called forever chemicals that it is a large group of thousands of human man-made chemicals known for their oil, water, and heat-resistant properties. And these chemicals have been around since about the 1940s. And what the scientists are saying is that the average American has some level of this chemical in their system. They call it PFAS, P-F-A-S. And, from what I'm hearing is linked to certain types of cancers. So I'm in the middle of researching that to get some more background information on it. And inshallah, I'll be able to report more on that next time we're on the show.
Wow, man, it's always something. Now, see, brothers and sisters, where else can you go and find out this kind of thing? I'm sure there's some other places you can go, but I would venture to say there's not too many programs that that would disseminate that kind of information that we try to provide to our listeners to help us make better and informed choices. Okay. Well, Brother William, man, we certainly appreciate you, my brother. God bless you, man. Inshallah. We do plan to broadcast next week. So until next time, we will see you next week. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Man, once again, that was our brother William Muhammad with the Farm Report. Now I'm just waiting on my sister Lynn. Okay, there she is. Is she? She's on. Let me see. Yeah, that's her. All right, Sister
I'm
Linshell, what you got for us tonight, ma'am?
Well, because awesome alaikum family.
Wa alaikum salam, ma'am.
Um, I I have some one thing that had been on my heart, which this is going to be about the heart for some time now. I have a topic. It's called Matters of the Heart. And it's going to be protecting your health and empowering our community.
Mm.
And the purpose of this topic is to raise awareness about heart health, reduce risk factors, and promote actionable steps for cardiovascular wellness within the African American community.
Mm.
And there are some key points that I'm going to discuss tonight and then inshallah next week. But I'm going to go ahead and name all the topics and then I'm just break one down tonight. One is why heart health matters. The next subtopic is know your numbers. The next one is lifestyle changes that save lives. And the fourth one is cultural connection. And the fifth one is regular checkups. Now, the first one is why heart health matters. And from looking at research and getting the updated information, health disease is the leading cause of death in U.S. and African Americans are disproportionately affected.
That's heart disease?
Say that word one more time. Sir?
No, I thought you said health disease. You said heart disease, right?
Yes, sir. Heart disease.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It is the leading cause of death in the U.S., but in the African American community is disproportionately affected.
Ooh. The
key word is disproportionately affected. So when we break down that word disproportionately, is over proportion. We have the most heart disease among all people. Wow. Which that comes from a lot of different spaces, which one is how we eat, right? Yeah. How we eat. Mm-hmm. We manage our emotions and different trials and stuff that we go through. And when you think about heart disease, some people do not factor in everything that contributes to heart disease: high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity. Who do we know run the race of being number one in those categories with high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity? Us. Mm. And we have got to watch that a whole lot better because when we have those things, we have major other risk factors that raise higher in the community that may be not as it may not be on your conscience. Like as far as your eyes, glaucoma is one of the main things that derive from diabetes. Overflux of sugar in your bloodstream. Wow. That affects your eyes. Mm. And then that's clogging up the veins and the vessels so you can have clear vision. So when you think about heart disease, all that is clogged up arteries. Wow. Well, that's not all that it is, but that's the leading cause of it. And then your heart starts to be at dis-ease, instead of being at ease. Wow. So I'm not going to take it for more time, but as we go and have these segments, I'm definitely going to dig deeper into that because a lot of dis-ease come from we allow dis-ease into our lives when things in our environment affect us. And we don't know how to handle it properly.
Yes,
so when we deal with matters of the heart first, then everything else can start flowing properly. And that's all I have for you today because I get kind of lengthy when I get into things like this. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, you got 4 more segments to bring us, Sister Soul. And we're going to hold you to that. We need to know that information. Let's give her a round of applause. We certainly thank you, Sister Linshell, for bringing that information. And the health professional among us, sir. We certainly appreciate it. But hey, until next week, God willing, we'll see you or hear from you once again. Until then, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Praise be to Allah. That is wonderful. That is good information to have, brothers and sisters. And in all honesty, for quite some time, we have led, especially in the Delta, with regard to being disaffected and disproportionately affected by heart disease, hypertension, diabetes and those diseases that are primarily tied to how we eat. And this is why the books of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live, books 1 and book 2, is so important, because we were given the discipline. He gave the discipline of fasting to the believing community of the Nation of Islam that is regular. In the early days of the Nation of Islam, he gave the discipline of fasting to us. And the scientists are just now catching up. They are calling it intermittent fasting. They call it the keto diet. Keto coming from the word ketosis, which is a process that happens at a certain stage in the fasting process. I think at about the 36-hour mark, your body begins to go through something that the scientists called ketosis. And that's where the keto diet comes from, the word at least. So brothers and sisters, always be mindful of our health and let us do better. That is part of the process of making our communities a better, safe, and decent place to live, because no community is any better than the people that people it. So, hey, we are at that time. Our guest is on. I see her on the dashboard. So I'm going to unmute her, or she can unmute herself, and we want to bring her in. Yes, indeed. Our sister Andrinetta Howard. Peace and blessings, dear sister. Are you there?
I'm well. Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. I am blacktastic and getting better. And you can use that word whenever you get ready. And you and the listening audience, y'all can too. Sister Andrinetta, look, we thank you, first of all, for accepting our humble invitation to come be on our podcast, our little platform. Well, we're doing the best we can, with the tools and the technology that's available to us to be of service to Holly Springs, Marshall County, and the North Mississippi area, really anywhere in the world that anyone want to listen, because that's how far the reach is of a podcast. If you got a smartphone and you know how to load an app and log on, you can just log on and listen. But first of all, after thanking you for accepting our invitation, I want to ask you, if you would be so kind, introduce yourself to our listening audience and tell us a little bit about you, Sister Andrinetta.
Hello, thank you. I'm honored to have an invite, and thank you for inviting me. My name is Andrinetta Howard. I am Marshall County Chamber of Commerce's president. I am the acting president at this time. I'm not only the president for Marshall County, I am also the president, the executive director for Benton County Chamber of Commerce. And I'm just happy to be on, and I'm just trying to spread the word about growing the community.
Wow, that is great. That is great. What is the leadership and pretty much the structure, I guess I would say? I know you mentioned you are the president and vice president. Give us a little outline of the board or the heads to the degree that you're willing to share with us. And I don't see why you wouldn't. They have a website if you want to go and see it for yourself, but kind of give our audience a little outline of the structure of the chamber.
Okay, so again, I am the president of Marshall County Chamber of Commerce. I am the executive director of Benton County Chamber of Commerce, and that's I oversee 770,000 acres here in North Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
The leadership structure of the Chamber of Commerce is one that aligns with any nonprofit board. So you generally have the president, vice president, if that's what you so desire, and if it's in your articles of incorporation and your bylaws, and then you have a secretary, and then you have your trustees and your treasurer. So it's aligned the similar way as any board. It also is carried out by the Robert Rules of Order, and so we manage it well. And I'm hoping that I'm answering your question.
Oh yes,
is that exactly what you're asking?
Yes, that is. I mean, it's one. I'm wanting to get our people informed about the chamber, because I mean, I myself am not as informed as I should be. I know some, a thumbnail sketch, but the chamber is one of those things that I think, which is why we invited you on, that our people need to know more about its function, its purpose, and what some of its goals are. Well, now that you've given us a brief structure outline, what inspired you, or why was the chamber established here in Benton County and Marshall County? What kind of inspired you to do that?
Originally, it was introduced to me by my mentor, LaTanya Chapman. She's the president of the St. Louis Chamber of Commerce. And so she pretty much came to me because I have had a business consulting firm. I have a 20 plus year history in business, really almost 24 years in business. And so she pretty much just talked to me and wanted to look to see, anybody that's in a capacity or in a a market, you want to know, hey, do they have that in your area? So she started to look those things up, and she was like, oh my God, you all are in a rural area and it seems like there's no growth there. And it's her actual background. And she just pretty much told me, you have everything you need, because I have, various degrees and history in business. She told me that would be great. So we started to do our research on the area, spoke to a couple of people, started to gather our board members, and then we opened the chamber. The first chamber was Benton County Chamber of Commerce. We were asked to come over into Marshall County by one of the aldermen, but at that time, we were under the impression that the Holly Springs Chamber of Commerce was open, and then we found out that it had not been dissolved, but it had been inactive for right at 2 years. And so we answered the call, and we introduced ourselves to the mayors, the aldermen, and then went in and started to introduce ourselves to the community at large.
Wow. So there's a relationship there between the chamber, of course, and the local governmental structure. Is that correct? Did we lose you?
I didn't hear you. My phone started to ring. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. That happens when you may have to put it in airplane mode. That's my fault. I should have gave you that little caveat of information, because if you're on and somebody calls you, it's going to, mute you momentarily. But my question was, so you guys do have a relationship, the chamber does, with the local governmental structure, city and county, Holly Springs, correct? Somebody's calling her again. Make sure I didn't lose her. I did lose her. And she's back.
It in airplane. I apologize.
That's
I
okay.
tried the airplane mode. It totally cut me off. So
that's all right. That's all right. It's all good. But I was asking, so you mentioned that you've met with the local government officials, the aldermen and supervisors, county supervisors, as well as Holly Springs mayor. So you do have a relationship. The chamber does have a relationship of sorts with the local governmental structure. Is that correct?
Yes, we haven't actually met with the supervisors upon entering into Marshall County. It was a little resistance because I'm from a larger city. Although I've lived in this area, owned land in the area for 28 years, but lived in the area for 7 years. When you're new in a small town, everybody wants to know who you are, and so we were met with some resistance. With that being said, the mayor pretty much told us, get in the community and just, start to try to meet the community would be his best advice. Well, as I understand the Chamber of Commerce more so than the average, simply because we've done our research, we've had to do meetings with other chambers and get to learn the trade. So the Chamber of Commerce is here, and it operates as the economy developer in a city. So because small towns don't have the economy development, then they kind of suffer in their business models. So the chamber comes in as a political office, and it comes in to try to help to restructure and stabilize the community. So you kind of just look at it as the community stabilizer for the economic portion. There are other nonprofits that are like the CAA, which is like the community action agency that comes in and helps with light bills, rent. They are the stabilizers for the community at large, the people that live within the community. But the Chamber of Commerce is the stabilizer for the city itself and the revenue to be able to operate and function successfully for the citizens.
Wow. Okay. And you kind of led in. I think you answered my next question, because my next question was going to be explain to the people the mission and the purpose of the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce. And I think you pretty much covered that. If you missed something or something pops in your head that you think you should have said in reference to the mission and purpose, please feel free to say it. But to my understanding, to what degree does the chamber, play the role of attracting business? Is that what you're saying? And that's part of the role, or the role of the chamber is to do things to help attract business to communities like Holly Springs and Marshall County?
Absolutely. I know that certain cities in Mississippi, they have been assigned IDA, which is a county or government agency that comes in and attracts more of the large industrial companies. But the chamber attracts not only companies outside of the city, but they come in to help those individuals within the city and people who are a part of the informal economy. The informal economy are those individuals who may be working in their homes. They may even not be licensed and still yet working. The chamber gets them out of their home. That we encourage them to become valuable business owners, working from brick and mortar in order to generate taxes within the city. Our goal is to teach everybody about paying taxes, because the taxes help eases the stress off of the other business owners who are actually functioning and operating currently. I had to explain that to one of the young ladies here recently, and there was a complaint about the taxes being so high, and I told her that's because you don't have enough businesses in your area. It's only because you need to it's not enough people to divide the tax bill, and once you get more people paying taxes, it will take the taxes down for everybody. It's like we all need to help share in paying that bill for the city.
Wow. Okay. So when you start, my little brain is just working now. So when it all begins to make sense, it helps connect certain dots, because since I've been ministering in Holly Springs, I've noticed a decline in the population, and that also affects, taxes and what you just expressed to us. Okay. So, hey, that's important to know. Now, you've been having a series of meetings called Let's Talk About It. Share with the listeners what that is all about. Let's talk about it. I noticed, I went to the website, and by the way, y'all, we are a member of the chamber. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm encouraging those that are out there with businesses and organizations or whatnot. Let's support the chamber. It's part of making our community a safe and more decent place to live, work, play, and fellowship. Okay. Now, tell us what Let's Talk About It is all about.
Let's talk about it is the chamber. Actually, when we entered into the community, our goal was to better understand the dynamics of the community, not only the economic structure, the leadership, but also to be able to understand what the everyday citizen is going through. And because, with any individual, your mood or emotions can sway your spending habit. Okay. Or where you choose to spend your money, right? And so we wanted to get into having a deep, in-depth conversation to see how we could spark transactions. Our goal is to spark transactions that will continue to spark transactions for generations to come. And so the Let's Talk About It gives us an opportunity to sit amongst the everyday people. We invite anybody in. It doesn't matter. It's open to the public. the chamber does actually pay for dinner for all the participants. And it gives us an opportunity to ask a question and then let all of the citizens chime in on it. So we have an in-depth Q&A, and we listen attentively in order to make sure that we have a response for them. In many ways, the chamber is a Google. So we're the political entity that helps to put out the fires and provide answers, resources, and solutions to problems that ill us in the economy.
Wow, that's some stuff to know. Now, we were blessed. You, and thank you again for the invite. You invited, and that's what really, in part, or really for the most part, inspired me to invite you onto our platform to have a conversation about what the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce is all about. Because the one thing that tends to happen, Sister Andrinetta, is when people don't know about a thing, they begin to speculate, or they'll get second and third hand information, and it'll more than likely come from those persons who you mentioned earlier that gave you a little pushback. And while I'm thinking of that, I mean, explain to us why you think you got a little pushback, and not necessarily from who. That doesn't really matter. But in your words, or as you see it, why do you think you got some pushback for establishing the chamber here?
First, because as you already know, anything that a person doesn't understand, they reject or they fight back. Although there was a chamber in the area, the chamber was not actually functioning as a full chamber. A chamber is supposed to come in and work with the existing businesses and the citizens. We call them dreamers, in order to empower them. So we are an empowering engine. Our goal is to drive dollar bills to not only the citizens, but back into the local administration so that they can do what they're supposed to do. We know that the local administration, of course, the feds send money to the state sends money down to the cities, but then the cities have to, need help with making sure that that money is actually circulating and coming back into the the government.
Yes.
One thing about that, I wanted to say one more thing when you asked me about what our goal is.
Yes, ma'am.
Our goal is to make sure that the money is being spent in the area in which that community dwells. So I know with Marshall County, most of the money goes outside of the county, especially with, I know the city of Holly Springs, the money leaves Holly Springs and goes to Memphis, Tupelo, Collierville, and outside areas. It should never, if anything, go to the next state. And so our major goal is to try to spark the money staying within its own local city area. We are the county chamber, but we spark that as well in every city that we are overseeing.
Yes, ma'am. And if an educated guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, one of the means by which that is done is the establishment of local businesses where the people, once they earn a living, as opposed to spending their dollars in, say, Olive Branch or Memphis or Collierville, they will shop and spend their dollars there in Marshall County and Holly Springs. Am I correct?
Absolutely right. So we need to bring those resources to the area so that the people will have somewhere to shop. I think that what we're hearing a lot is that they don't have the places that they need there to shop. And so we got to look at that as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We got to look at that as well. And then come in. I mean, if we have residents there that want to open up certain businesses, the chamber will help them to do so. And that's why I was saying we are that empowering engine.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
there to empower you to do, empower you to grow. And then another thing is a lot of individuals don't understand. They may say, we need a McDonald's. Of course, we know Holly Springs has a McDonald's. We need a McDonald's. Well, in the chamber says, well, why don't you open it? We can help you. How do you feel about that? And we start to encourage those individuals. The people who are in that area, who live in that geographical area, have everything that they need to be successful.
Yes,
it's just that they themselves have to understand that it's going to take them to invoke change.
Boy, that allows me to dovetail right into the next part. And it's about 7:46, just about 14 minutes to the top of the hour. We'll take a break right at that time. But sister, we in the Nation of Islam have a course of study that consists of 21 study guides, and it is entitled Self-Improvement, the Basis for Community Development. And essentially what that's saying in a thumbnail sketch is a community is no better than the people that live in it. And to the degree that people are not developed, informed, and disciplined, to that same degree, that community lacks a basis for which to be a well-developed and nurtured and matured community. So, and I say that because recently one of the Let's Talk About It gatherings you had, you invited the clergy. And now I understand why you invited the clergy. Could you share with our audience and with me even further, what inspired you, or why did you invite the clergy, and what role do you think they play in having a conversation with the spiritual leadership to help, reach the goals that the chamber and the community at large is reaching for?
We, inviting the clergy I can't take full credit as, for the chamber.
Yes,
it
ma'am.
came up in one Let's Talk About It. So that's what the Let's Talk About It is. It is conversations or transactions as well. So, excuse me, our goal was to spark those conversations to find out where we need to, give our attention. It came up that we needed to reach the people in the community, and how would we do that? And we started to talk about, wherever the leaders are, wherever is where the people will be. In times of difficulties, people flock to religious institutions.
That's
They
right.
will flock to the church. They will flock to the mass. And so in order to reach the people, you have to reach the leaders. And so our goal was to bring the leaders in, have a talk with them, see exactly what did they want, because their the building itself, whether it's the church or the mass, it is housed within that city. So if there is any type of disturbance, high crime, low property value, if it's just not pleasing to the eyes, dilapidated, that church is actually being seeing the reflections of that, and it's being also judged by its environment. So we know that every church leader wants the best for not only themselves, but their congregation and, even the building that they worship in. And so that is why we started to talk about, we need to bring in the church leaders, because they're able to understand that they'll be able to understand what community is all about, because biblical scripture teaches profoundly on community, building community, and taking care of one another. We understand that everybody may not be in a religious setting, but they still respect those leaders. And if the leaders understand and they're on board, we can get the community to be on board as well.
Absolutely. And this sister, last week, our last broadcast, I kind of gave some highlights of that Let's Talk About It meeting we had, shared with our audience how inspiring it was, that I thought. and how open and frank the discussion was. And some of the takeaways was that the spiritual community acknowledged that we need to do a better job. And we need to get rid of some behaviors, one of which was disunity and envy and jealousy and egos and competition. And that's not just in the spiritual community. That's been really embedded in Black people. If you understand what we've gone through in history, if you're familiar with Willie Lynch and those kinds of things. And those are the I would call them the spiritual ghosts that continue to haunt us in terms of our mentality and our psyche. And I was pleased to hear that the spiritual community is aware of it and has acknowledged it. That's the first step towards healing, acknowledging that we have a sickness or a problem and that we are part of it. So I thoroughly enjoyed that Let's Talk About It gathering that we had. Now, I want to get to to more about the kind of opposition and have you overcome it? I just want to ask that question. Do you think you've overcome that opposition? Because when people don't know about a thing you said and don't have information, they tend to fight it. Are there those?
No, I don't think so. I think that we're still having there is still a deaf ear from different ethnicities. And with that being said, we are willing to be patient. You know, we're being patient and we're continuing to gather members. Our goal is to gather members. Excuse me. Excuse me. And so, as it stands right now, you know, we have we have all total Black members, but our goal is to involve everybody. It just, the most disappointing thing is, and I don't want to be too frank with it, but it's very disappointing when you see that all of the community may not want a better community.
Yes.
Okay, so
I know exactly what you mean.
Right. They may be capitalizing off the current community. And so anything that brings in change is going to possibly deplete their revenue. And they don't understand that it's not going to deplete your revenue. It's going to bring you in more revenue because people are actually migrating that way. They're coming and they're moving that way. If you've looked at Bahia, Bahia has put up a lot of new houses and townhouses, I think they are.
They have.
And so the people are coming that way. So when they come that way, what does that particular area have to offer them so that they will settle there?
You got a connection
and then
problem.
Raise their families there and call it home. Can you hear me?
Yes. I guess you moved and your reception, you started to get that. You know that robot sound you get when your reception is not good. Yes, ma'am.
I was saying, but you have to have something advertising. You need amenities in order for people to want to settle in a particular area.
That's correct.
And so, no, to answer your question, no, I don't think we have. I think that we've been chipping away at it, but I don't think we have.
Yes, ma'am. And I asked that question for a particular reason. Our people need to understand there are those, dear brothers and sisters, who benefit off of they benefit off the condition that we are in. There's someone who's benefiting from the dilapidated condition of Holly Springs. And the revenue that could come to Holly Springs is being drawn out into other areas. So anyone that is perceived to be a threat to that vis-a-vis this new chamber, well, they're going to get opposition that's not necessarily ignorant. They know what they're doing now, brothers and sisters. Let's not be childish and stick our head in the sand. We as a people know that our history is is fraught with instances wherever there was somebody that had the idea to improve the condition and the potential life outcomes for the Black community, the dominant society, quote unquote, the white community. I shouldn't say the white community as a whole, but members from that community and others, and even some of our own brothers and sisters who are willing to be surrogates or sycophants for these kinds of people that exploit the condition that communities like Holly Springs is in. They become the opposition. So I'll say it for you, Sister Eunice said. I mean, it is just the truth. And what we have to do, we have to begin to respond better as Black people. We have to take the responsibility, as the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is telling us. We must accept the responsibility to make our communities a safe and decent place to live. And part of that is getting involved with what you're doing and endeavors like yours, dear sister. But once again, the meeting and the Let's Talk About It with the clergy, I was excited. So when is the next Let's Talk About It meeting you're going to have? And where?
Can I piggyback off of what you're saying?
Of course you can. Please do.
Okay, and so you're absolutely right. So right now we have individuals that have joined the chamber in Memphis, Arlington. You can join a chamber anywhere in the nation, actually. So anyone in the nation can join a chamber. Doesn't matter where it is located. That chamber can still help you to be able to catapult your ideals, help grow your business, bring about financial solutions, higher banking, grants, expenditures, coming in and showing you how to fund your infrastructure. The chamber is limitless when it comes to dealing with economic basis and businesses. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to add that because I was like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
But I just want, I don't want to be where I'm picking on any race or anything because I literally want to help everybody. We
Yes.
still need each other. You know,
ma'am.
no matter what, we still can sync together if we
Yes.
don't do this right. But we know that there's always an adversary,
Mhm.
and we still have to make sure that we are doing what we must do to protect our own as well.
Of course. Of course. Yes, ma'am. But go ahead. Please continue.
Okay. And so I just wanted to add that in there. And so the reason why we were happy to extend our stretch is because if with anything, like you say, it's a strategy. The strategy is to blackball, cut off funds, and then that will die and go away. So we find ourselves seeking members from other areas or whoever can sees value enough to say we need this, because not only does the chamber help the local community, we lobby. So I just got back from Washington, D.C. at the end of November, getting some initiatives before the congressmen, talking to the senators. And so whatever's going on in the community, we also relay that to them where it may never get to them, depending on what type of situation it is. And you've seen where someone is oppressing someone and you never even knew they were oppressed because you don't go and visit that area.
Right.
And so the chamber is one that lobbies. And so that's why, again, it's very important that we have the support, because those funds also help us to be able to lead the certain communities to go to Washington, D.C. to speak and lobby on the behalf of those members. February the 9th is our next Let's Talk About It. And it's going to be at Strawberry Missionary Church. It was requested to come there. And we've never done it at a church. But it's in the same vein, we're there to talk about community business. So I think that it would be, It'll be different, but maybe we'll have people from that side of Holly Springs come to the church, and we still can yet reach people. We're there to bridge the gap. We're there to close that divide and educate, so that those who find themselves at a disadvantage understand that help is here now, and so we're here to help you, but you got to help us stay alive. In other words, you know, when I told you, I was like, I'm hiding behind you.
Well, sister, look, and I have to say this. We are not suggesting in any way that we are desirous of lifting our community to the detriment of any other community or people.
Right.
No, we're not striving to pull someone else down in the name of pulling ourselves up.
Absolutely.
We're simply asking, don't tread on me. That's one of their sayings. They don't tread on me. Get your foot off me, please. And we're fixing to stop saying please, because it is not against the way of God to act in your own best interest. In fact, the word business, the root of it is busy. And every creature in creation during its waking hours is engaged in the activity of being busy, seeking that which sustains it and that which is its sustenance. That's the natural order of things. And for anyone to suggest that we are anti anyone else or to acting to the detriment of anyone else's well-being by doing what is in our best interest, as long as it's not hindering anyone else's growth and development, and hindering, getting your foot off of my neck is not hindering your growth and development. It's bringing an end to your tyranny and oppression. So whoever, and this is me saying this, sister, anybody out there that has the mentality that we don't have the right to do that, you are what the scripture calls an opposer. And that's what the enemy of God is called, an opposer. You acting in opposition to the God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that this country says we have. You are acting in opposition to that. So we have a right as a human being to seek that which is in the best interest of ourselves and in the broader community, as long as it's not injurious to the rightful pursuit of anybody else or any other community. So sister, I wanted to get that out there because I don't want nobody to think, see, they're here to see they starting trouble. If starting trouble means stopping you from robbing us, then we're going to start that kind of trouble. And that's what John Lewis called good trouble. All right. So, hey, look, we're at the top of the hour, Sister Andrinetta, and this is the time that we take a break. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, sis. And we're going to be back right after our commercial announcement. So stand by, and we're going to land the plane on the back end of these announcements. We'll be right back, y'all.
It's 20 past 12. Chilling in the studio. Taking over the world. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. I come in peace. I don't mean you no harm.
Shake's famous seasonings, flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's famous seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real, authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your number one free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
You use your religion as an excuse not to stand up and fight your natural enemy. And the only people on this earth, Brother Alton, the only people on this earth that use their religion and their so-called belief in God as an excuse not to stand up and confront their enemy is my people. Negroes are the only people I know that use it.
I ain't dead.
And we are back live here at the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I am your brother, your friend, and host, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. We have with us live tonight our sister Andrinetta Howard. She is the president of the newly established Marshall County Chamber of Commerce. Sister Andrinetta, you're still there, right?
I am still here.
Sister, again, we certainly thank you. We're about to land this plane. I got a couple of more questions for you. And I'm going to close with a news story that I think our people really need to give a little attention to. It's 8:07. We're going to be shutting down around 8:25. All we've discussed, sister, to me has been spot on. And definitely something needs to be done. And it is our responsibility to do it. If you notice, the cavalry is not coming. So we as a community of black people primarily have to begin to act in our own best interest and in the interest of future generations. Okay? So every righteous endeavor, sister, faces opposition. Okay? And we've talked about the pushback, and a wise person told me, in fact, it was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, one of the signs that you are doing something good, when you're doing something good, one of the signs is that it's the right thing to do is when you get real heavy opposition. That's a sure sign that what you're doing is a worthy pursuit, because anything of value is attended with great difficulty to attain it. It's hard to get gold out of a mine. It's hard to get diamonds out of a mine. You got to dive deep to get them pearls and out of the ocean. So establishing this Marshall County Chamber of Commerce, it's going to face some opposition. So, sister, what must the community we live in do? And the citizens of Holly Springs, what can they do to help increase the footprint and influence of the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce?
Join the chamber, to seek membership with the chamber, to show up to some of the Let's Talk About It. To again, you don't have to be a member in order to come to the Let's Talk About It. We welcome all, and once you come in, maybe you can tell us your story, because it's all about Let's Talk About It. I know, student minister, you can actually testify to the point that we allowed everybody to talk. If you had something you wanted to say, and we were very attentive listeners in order to try to see how we could help, because you've heard of each one teach one, but everybody's experience that they have encountered is the same. I mean, you're teaching me when you're telling me what you've been through. It's not really a area for you to just vent, but we're there to bring about solutions and to put them into action by time that next Let's Talk About It comes back around. So our goal is to bring about results. And we got to be at a fast pace, because like you say, the cavalry is not coming. So this is something that we really have to move at a fast pace in order to turn that area around.
Yes, ma'am. And you reminded me of something that I shared with the clergy that I asked all of us to do, and I have been doing it daily. And that is petitioning God to create in me the proper heart. The scripture says, create in me a clean heart and renew the right spirit in me. And I would, from this platform, ask our listeners, brothers and sisters in North Mississippi and in Marshall County, and really throughout the state of Mississippi and beyond, I'm asking us to hit our knees, man, and ask God to give us the right mindset. If we genuinely want good for the community, if we genuinely want economic development and the kind of business presence in our community where it doesn't look like we're just dying. And that's how, and let's be honest, that's how Holly Springs looks. And I've been wanting to petition our local government about some of the buildings that's on Ida B. Wells. If it's Ida B. Wells, it should look like Ida B. Wells. So I'm petitioning listeners and pass the word. Ask God to give you the right mind and heart and spirit as it relates to getting engaged. Engage in and join the chamber. Join a spiritual house. Come visit us. Join some organization that's working to improve the quality of life in Holly Springs and Marshall County. So, sister, you said join the chamber. That's definitely where would they need to come to join?
In order to join the chamber, our physical address is 617A as in Apple, Highway 7 South in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Our website is Marshall County Chamber of Commerce.org. Again, that's Marshall County Chamber of Commerce.org. Our email address is info@Marshall County Chamber of Commerce.org. And so they can reach out, they can make appointments to be able to sit down and talk to one of the team members. In addition to making an appointment if they wanted to do a phone consultation. So we're willing to work with anyone. We also go and meet, like I have to go to Tupelo and sign up people. So like I say, it's not just Marshall County, it's anywhere within the United States. You can be helped.
Excellent. Well, sister, remind our audience, and we're about to part ways. Remind them once again when the next Let's Talk About It is and where.
February the 9th at Strawberry Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay. And now what time? That's going to be on a Monday. I'm looking at my calendar. February 9th, 2026. Let me make sure. Yep, 2026, February 7th, 8th. That's on a Monday. And what time of the day will that take place?
We normally start about 6 o'clock.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm a plan to be there, God willing, if I'm still breathing, moving about on the earth. I'm going to make it my business to be there. And you can go to the website, brothers and sisters, because normally they post it, the flyer on the website, as she just mentioned. And go there and make yourselves available, brothers and sisters. Let's fill the house and let's talk about it. Not vent. She said we're not there to vent. We're not there to beat people up now. We're here to talk about, point out the problems, and then bring with the pointing out a solution to the problem. Well, Sister Andrinetta, look, I don't know about you, sis, but I thoroughly enjoyed your company tonight. I thank you once again for coming on, and don't be a stranger to our platform. I'll make it my business when you have something going on. I'll be more than happy to let the community know what's happening. So anything you want to say before you sign off?
I just appreciate you for having me on. I hope that I reach the heart of the people to understand that we need each other, and building the economy and our economic growth is what we also need in order to survive and thrive. And so I'm all in. Thank you again for having me.
You are so welcome. And sister, till next time we greet you, we say as Muslims, Assalamu alaikum, or peace be unto you. God bless you, and you have a restful evening. All right?
You too. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye now. All right. That was our sister Andrinetta. She did an excellent presentation. And just like the 10,000 Fearless, she is
10,000 fearless on the move.
Yeah, brothers and sisters, look, I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation, and I learned a lot. And hopefully going forward, we'll see the value of coming and finding out what's going on. And I have a feeling that most of us, if not all of us, who would just come and see what's happening, you'll be pleasantly surprised, because many hands make light work. The more of us that are involved, the easier it is to push the plow. So once again, look, I thoroughly enjoyed our sister being on. God willing, in the coming days, she'll come back and give us a progress report and see how things are happening. But I want to close tonight with a bit of news, brothers and sisters. And I don't know, I should have done this one on the front end, because news is disturbing. And I don't know whether or not you heard about it, but in Liberty, Mississippi, a young 10-year-old boy was driving on his ATV on the side of the road. Drunk driver hit him. The young child's name, shouldn't say gentleman, he's just a child, 10 years old. His name was Jordan Hill. And the man that ran him over, his name was Cody Rollinson. Male white, of course. And the 10-year-old boy is a black child. Okay? Now, last week, a grand jury found him not guilty. Now, according to what was reported, he was driving drunk. He left the scene after hitting the child, and said his excuse was something about his phone. He didn't render aid. The crash killed the boy. Okay? And in the months before the not guilty verdict, it was announced a video circulating online showed Rollins being escorted through the courthouse parking lot when someone off camera asked if he had anything to say to the family. And the witnesses said he responded by spitting in the direction of the child's relatives. This is according to the news. Okay. The local news reported it. BET has reported it, and other news outlets have reported that that's what happened. And see, brothers and sisters, this is the kind of thing, our disunity and our lack of being a part of the solution and getting involved in some aspect of bringing resolutions to our problem. This is what emboldens those kinds of minds to have utter disdain and disrespect for the lives of even our children. This is why a grand jury can acquit a man who was, according to the local authorities, was driving drunk when he hit the child, who was not in the roadway, according to what has been reported. That's called vehicular homicide, as I understand it, and do for a living. So, and I was told recently by a very, very reliable source that it was found that some of the persons on the grand jury are allegedly, and I use that specifically, allegedly, members or related to the accused or the drunk driver. And see, it is because we are not effectively organized and united as black people that this kind of thing can happen to us. And the sad part is we're not going to see the necessity of being involved until something tragic happens in our life and we need people to speak up and step up for us. You notice when this stuff happens to us, all of a sudden there's a GoFundMe, you know? And the interesting thing about it, when we see these kinds of things happen to our people, their people will support them even when they're wrong. People raised money for Dylan Roof. This man went into a church in North Carolina, Charlotte, I think it was, and murdered 9 black people. And somebody applauded that. And they didn't just clap their hands and run their mouth. They put some dollars behind it. Funds have been raised for the murderers of our people, for their defense in a court of law. And we won't even give money adequately to our people who have been victimized. We're not there. Our spiritual nervous system as a people is still frayed. We don't feel one another's pain. And that's what made the difference in the civil rights movement. Our brothers and sisters on the West Coast, on the East Coast, up north, when they turned the television on, the evening news on, and saw water hoses being turned on our brothers and sisters in Mississippi, Georgia, and Alabama, they felt that pain. And many of our people came from those areas of the country to help champion the cause of justice for black people down here in the Delta. Well, if you notice these little stories, most of you, I don't think you've heard about this. This is not being reported on CNN. So that's why I'm highlighting it as we close. And I changed my mind. I do think this was the appropriate time, because we need a cold bucket of water in our face. Hopefully this will serve as that. We need something to shock the conscience. This is a 10-year-old baby just riding his ATV in the neighborhood, having fun, doing things that 10-year-olds and young people do. And he gets ran over by a drunk driver, and his family now has to live with the fact that no one, probably nobody, even the person that hit the child while driving drunk, according to the local authorities, will be held accountable. I want us to really just think about that. So we need to get rid of this mentality that I ain't got time for nobody but me and what I'm doing. Oh, I understand. I ain't got time. I'm busy. Are we? Are we really just that busy that we can't devote some of our time, our talent, and resources to something? To the church, to local organization, to the chamber, to some entity that's working, trying to improve the life outcomes of our people in North Mississippi and really throughout the Delta. Because a wise man said about Mississippi and the Delta, or the South in general, really. He said, when the South rises, it is over. Meaning, when our people in the South come to consciousness and awaken to our responsibility as a people, when we awaken with the Spirit of God in us, and the self-accusing spirit arouses us to our responsibility as human beings, then the dark days and the gloomy evenings and the wailing, the sorrow that we seem to continue to endure, all of that'll be over. All we have to do is wake up. And there is information here, there is knowledge here that can aid in the process of awakening us to our responsibility, because the book is clear. It says that my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, but it doesn't stop there. It continues and says, and you have rejected knowledge. God talking. So shall I reject you. And you shall no longer be a priest unto me, and I shall forget your children. So as I said to one brother, we were talking about the problem of white supremacy. Yeah, we could talk about it. It's real. But I said to my brother, I've come to the conclusion that white supremacy is not the problem. It is, in fact, a problem. Notice the two different words, the and a. The is the definite article. Okay, it is the definite absolute problem. Well, it ain't the definite absolute problem. It is a problem amongst many, and it is a pretty prominent problem. But it is not the problem. The problem is our lack of proper response to what we have clearly identified as white supremacy. So if we would respond properly to what we have identified as being a prominent problem, then the problem, as we see it, will begin to fade into ignominy. It will become irrelevant. Because if we as black people will begin to do the kind of things that allow us to take the advantage of our own dollars the way we should be able to, as every other community does, then the problems we complain about will begin to just melt away. The problem of not having opportunities for our children. One question I was intended to ask my sister was, how does the local HBCU that's right there in Holly Springs, how does that fit in the scheme of the chamber? And what kind of relationship does the chamber have, if any, with that local HBCU, as they are called? Okay. So, brothers and sisters, it's really sad to hear this kind of thing still happening in 2026. As I shared with a person, about what I'm saying with regard to what the problem is. And I gave an analogy that, if you punch me in the face and knock me down on the ground on Monday, and I didn't do anything to deserve that, well, yeah, you're wrong for punching me in the face and knocking me down. But if you come back a week later next Monday and I'm still laying in the same spot that you knocked me down to, and I have the wherewithal and the strength to get up and move on and do something about what happened to me, you come back and the people come back and I'm still laying there complaining about getting punched in the face. Well, the punch is no longer the problem. It was a problem. It was the problem when it happened. But after it happened and time has passed and I've had ample time and opportunity and resources to get up and, dust myself off and recover. Yet I don't do that. Then the punch is no longer the problem. The problem is my poor response to getting popped in the face. And that's kind of where we at in Black America today. So brothers and sisters, as usual, we want to certainly thank you for tuning in to tonight's program. And we're going to close tonight out with a cultural segment, just a little music. I do write and arrange music, and this one came to mind, and I've played it before on this broadcast. And we want to close tonight's program with this musical selection from my CD, Righteous Life. It's entitled My People.
And God said to Moses, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren like unto thee. And I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. Every other house is abandoned on the street, with a homeless squat inside the filth, so in need. Brothers on the porch, hands in their pockets, looking up and down the street. They hustle to make ends meet. Hear the babies crying when they wake up, 'cause mama's gone again. And they don't say good morning, they watch you close as you pass them by. 'Cause where we live, it's hard to find a friend. But my people, we can make it. My people, you're not forsaken. Yes, my people, no matter how bad it looks. My people, yes, my people. Oh, the people on the hills are through. They all have given up on you. God, Christ, and His faithful one loves your soul. Putting that same love inside of me, that I'd be prepared to set you free. He is growing my faith, and my people, we can make it. My people, we're not forsaken. Yes, my people, no matter how bad it looks. My people, yes, my people. Oh. An evil fisherman has planned to capture us in his net. He makes the game look quick and easy, but he knows far we won't get. A heavy price was paid to redeem me and you. Will you reject the gift that can comfort and relieve you? The time is short, and the harvest is great. We gotta make a stand, or it's too late. If they only knew, they lift their hands and dry their eyes. We got to tell them a Savior has arrived.
Yes, indeed, y'all. That was one of look kind of a throwback from yours truly. It is entitled My People. Brothers and sisters, we certainly want to once again thank all of you for tuning in tonight. We certainly thank our special guest, Sister Andrinetta Howard, President of the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce. And God willing, brothers and sisters, we'll be back next week. But before we leave tonight, we always want you to consider the fact that anyone, and I do mean anyone, or no one, I should say, can attempt to help our people do anything productive and constructive without feeling personal hurt, pain, loss, being evil spoken of, falsely accused, sometimes beaten, sent to prison, or even put to death. This is the path of Jesus. This is the path of Muhammad. And this is the path of every sincere person who wants to see his or her people delivered from our present condition. Dear brothers and sisters, always remember that self-improvement is the basis for community development. Until next week, God willing, we leave you as we came before you with the greeting words of peace, of assalamu alaikum, or peace be unto you.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you're waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless.